It's all bogus, It's bull dust. All these manifestation techniques, raising frequency, using your imagination, intending an outcome, visualizing it, feeling it. We've been doing it, right? And it doesn't always work. In fact, most of the time doesn't. So is it all just balderdash? I think it is, and I'll tell you why. But as usual with me, I'm not going to give you an exact straight answer, and it's going to be nuanced. So there's going to be a twist at the end, as it were. But let's start with the idea that they're bull dust and balderdash. And this is why. When you use imagination, or when you raise your frequency, you're operating in time. And you're saying that this moment is not God, that this moment I cannot be in bliss and at peace. So I must manifest something. I realized that, in fact, this morning, while sitting down to meditate, and guess what? I found myself pulling out a manifestation technique and visualizing something that I wanted to come true that day or today. I wanted news on a certain project I'm doing. And it hit me. When I'm doing this, I'm subtly but powerfully saying that my happiness is in this outcome. Hey, we all know that you're supposed to give up outcomes. But do you really know how baked in our sense of outcome is when we do these techniques? I raise my frequency, feel better, imagine the outcome, what's happening today. I'm feeling the end state. So yes, I'm feeling better now, but that betterness is coming from imagination. That's from the mind, and the mind is part of the ego, and the ego is telling me what I need. When I was meditating on this, a little voice came up and just said, it was like a yelp. And that yelp was from a deeper part of me that says, what about now? Can you be happy now? Where is joy now, regardless of all that? So all these techniques are balderdash. They lead you up the garden path, as far as I'm concerned. They're well-meaning, and they work in certain circumstances, specific ones. And the one I propose is this. The right place for manifestation techniques and raising your frequency, using your imagination, using your mind, is after you have first connected with the causes joy and peace of your being, where you need nothing. Until you have that, my friends, you are dancing in ego's territory. You're surfing the ego wave, which is fine if you know that that's what you're doing. And it is better than doing nothing. Because there's phases of ego. There's like a sodden, lumpen, victim-y ego. We don't want that, of course. But then there's the spiritual ego. This is the ego of the one who's done some spiritual work and who's learned to work with frequency and all these lovely things. You've polished a spiritual ego, which is better than having an unpolished ego. If you're going to have an ego, polish it. Make it as highly functional as possible, and use all these techniques. If only the civilization would do it and use these creation techniques, even if it's polished ego, it's way better than what we have, which is just demonic ego right now. So here is my open-ended, ambiguous answer. These techniques are balderdash if you use them without first connecting to the causeless joy of your being. But they can be useful even if you don't, because you're still going to create, and you're going to create better than if you were just a sodden lump of victimhood, trying to get by forcing things. So you can decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to work on polishing the ego and creating? And that's quite fine, actually. It's brilliant. Or do you first want to connect with the peace of your being? And I would say, do not even move until you are in the peace of your being, until you're in that causes joy, until you have found the kingdom of heaven within. Didn't the scriptures say, seek first the kingdom of heaven, or kingdom of God, then all else will be added unto you? Did not say, use your imagination and imagine outcomes. Seek first the kingdom. And the kingdom, as I always preach on this channel, is you. is you, straight up, without thoughts, without your mind. It's a natural presence of being, the joy of presence. The joy, causeless joy of Sat-Chit Ananda, of self-knowing, which is in you before you do manifestation. Once you connect with that, then you ride the wave upwards. I already am in joy. I need no outcome. Now you're free. Now you can use to create. Now you tack on the technique at the end. So that's what I'm saying. Shift the technique from the beginning to the end of your meditation, after you've already connected with I am, and I am okay, and this is okay, and I need nothing. I am. That is the kingdom. So let's leave it there. Of course, do like and subscribe. Tell me how it's going in comments, and stay tuned for more.